Welcome to Stoic Vivu, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Today, I'm going to share something that will fundamentally change how you experience every relationship in your life. If you've ever laid awake at night, terrified of losing someone you love, or if you're struggling right now to let go of someone who's already gone, this video contains a 2,000-year-old secret that will set you free. The ancient Stoics discovered something profound about human attachment that modern psychology is only beginning to understand. The reason you can't let go has nothing to do with love, and everything to do with a lie you've been telling yourself. Think about the last time someone important walked out of your life. Maybe it was a breakup that left you shattered. Perhaps a friend who simply drifted away. Or maybe you're dealing with the ultimate separation, the death of someone you can't imagine living without. That crushing weight in your chest, that desperate need to have them back, that voice in your head replaying memories over and over. I understand. We've all been there. But what if I told you that this suffering isn't inevitable? What if the very way we think about losing people is completely backwards? The Stoic philosophers of ancient Rome and Greece faced the same heartbreaks we do today. They lost spouses, children, and dear friends. Yet they discovered a perspective so powerful that it transformed grief from a life-destroying force into something manageable, even meaningful. This isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending you don't care. It's about understanding a fundamental truth about relationships that, once you grasp it, changes everything. In this video, you'll discover why your desperate need to hold on to people is actually pushing them away. You'll learn why that person you can't stop thinking about was never actually yours to lose in the first place. We'll explore how the most passionate attachments in your life might actually be a form of emotional slavery, keeping you trapped in cycles of fear and pain. More importantly, I'll share the exact method the Stoics used to find peace with any separation, a practical, step-by-step approach that you can start using today. This same wisdom helped Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius cope with the loss of multiple children, guided the philosopher Seneca through exile and separation from everyone he loved, and gave countless others the strength to face life's inevitable goodbyes with grace instead of desperation. By the end of this video, you'll understand why letting go feels impossible right now and exactly what you need to do to change that. You'll see your relationships, all of them, through completely different eyes. And you'll finally have the tools to love people deeply without the constant fear of losing them. This journey through Stoic wisdom isn't just philosophical theory. It's practical guidance for real pain, real loss, and real life. So let's begin with the most important revelation. The real reason you can't let go, and I promise you, it's not what you think. 1. The real reason you can't let go, it's not love. There's a scene in Star Wars that perfectly captures why we can't let go of people, and it has nothing to do with love. In the prequels, we watch Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker become consumed by his attachment to Padme Amidala. His fear of losing her is so overwhelming that he betrays everything he stands for, murders innocent people, and ultimately becomes the very monster he swore to fight against. Here's the crucial part. Anakin didn't do these terrible things because he loved too much. He did them because he was enslaved by fear. This distinction changes everything. When you can't let go of someone, when you lie awake at night replaying conversations or checking their social media obsessively, you're not experiencing love. You're experiencing what the ancient Stoics called slavery to passion. And there's a massive difference between the two. The philosopher Epictetus, who spent years as an actual slave before gaining his freedom, understood this better than anyone. He taught that there are two types of slavery: physical slavery, where chains bind your body, and emotional slavery, where desires and fears bind your mind. He considered the second type far more destructive. "No one is free who is not master of himself," he declared. When you can't let go of someone, you've handed them the keys to your emotional prison. Consider this. When you say you can't let go because you love someone too much, what you're really saying is that your happiness, peace, and well-being depend entirely on another person's presence in your life. You've made them your master without them even asking for the position. Every time they don't text back, your mood plummets. When they seem distant, your world crumbles. This isn't love, it's dependency. And dependency always leads to desperation. Real love, according to Stoic philosophy, wishes good for the other person regardless of what that means for you. But when you can't let go, you're not thinking about their well-being. You're thinking about your own need, your own fear, your own desire to control what cannot be controlled. Epictetus put it bluntly: when you are yearning for your wife or child or friend to live with you forever, you are yearning for things that are not up to you. You are like a fool who yearns for his figs in winter. The modern world has romanticized this emotional dependency. We call it passion or true love. When someone says they can't live without another person, movies glorify the idea that real love means complete emotional fusion with another human being. But the Stoics saw this for what it really is: a form of mental illness that masquerades as virtue. Think about your own situation right now. That person you can't let go of. Are you holding on because you genuinely want what's best for them? Or are you holding on because you're terrified of facing life without them? If you're honest, you'll likely find that fear, not love, is driving your attachment. Fear of being alone. Fear of starting over. Fear of facing who you are without them to define you. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who lost multiple children and dealt with an unfaithful wife, wrote in his private journal how much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does, but only to what he does himself. When you can't let go, you're constantly looking at what the other person is doing, thinking, and feeling. You've abandoned yourself to live in their shadow. This is why breakups feel like death, why losing a friend feels like losing a part of yourself. You've literally given parts of your identity to another person. When they leave, they take those parts with them, leaving you feeling incomplete. But here's the Stoic truth: you were always complete. You just forgot that while you were busy making someone else your entire world. The ancient Stoics weren't saying don't love people. They had families, friends, and deep relationships. But they understood something we've forgotten. True love comes from wholeness, not from need. When you love from a place of completeness, you can enjoy someone's presence without being destroyed by their absence. You can care deeply while still maintaining your emotional sovereignty. Seneca, advisor to emperors and one of Rome's wealthiest men, explained it this way: every new thing excites the mind, but a mind that seeks truth turns from the new and superficial to the old and profound. Your desperate attachment to another person is the mind seeking excitement, validation, and security in something external. But truth, real peace, comes from turning inward to the profound realization that you are already whole. Let me share a modern example that illustrates this perfectly. Sarah, a marketing executive in Chicago, couldn't let go of her ex-boyfriend 6 months after their breakup. She checked his Instagram hourly, drove past his apartment, and even showed up at places she knew he'd be. She insisted it was because she loved him so much. But when she finally sought help and examined her behavior honestly, she realized something shocking. She couldn't even list 3 things she genuinely loved about him as a person. What she couldn't let go of was the idea of him, the routine of having someone, the identity of being his girlfriend. She was clinging to a ghost, not a person. This is what Epictetus meant when he said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." Sarah wasn't disturbed by the actual loss of her ex-boyfriend. She was disturbed by her view that she needed him to be complete, that without him, she was somehow less than whole. Her attachment wasn't love. It was a desperate grip on an illusion. The Stoics teach us that this confusion between love and need creates a vicious cycle. The more desperately you cling, the more you confirm your belief that you can't survive without the other person. The more you believe you can't survive without them, the more desperately you cling. It's a self-reinforcing prison of your own making. And the tragedy is that this prison prevents you from experiencing what real love actually feels like. Free, generous, and grounded in strength rather than fear. This is the secret the Stoics discovered. The reason you can't let go isn't because you love too much. It's because you don't love yourself enough to believe you can exist without someone else propping you up. You've confused attachment with love, need with care, and fear with devotion. And until you see this clearly, you'll remain enslaved to every person you claim to love, turning what should be a source of joy into a source of perpetual anxiety and pain. 2. Why holding on tight makes you lose them faster. Imagine you're at a beach trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze your fists, the faster the water escapes through your fingers. This is exactly what happens when you desperately try to hold onto people. The very act of clinging drives away what you're trying to preserve. The ancient Stoics understood this paradox deeply, and their insights explain why your desperate attempts to keep someone in your life often accelerate their departure. Epictetus observed a profound truth about human nature, for its nature is to love nothing so much as its own interest. This to it is father and brother and kinsman and country and God. When, for instance, we think that the gods stand in the way of our attainment of this, we revile even them, cast their statues to the ground, and burn their temples, as Alexander ordered the temples of Asclepius to be burned when his loved one died. This quote reveals something disturbing about attachment. When we're desperately holding on to someone, we're not acting from love, we're acting from pure self-interest. And people can feel this. They sense when they're being held not as a person to be cherished, but as an object to fulfill someone else's needs. This realization often triggers their instinct to escape. Consider what happens in a typical relationship when one person becomes desperately clingy. Jennifer, a software developer in San Francisco, noticed her boyfriend pulling away after she started demanding constant reassurance. She'd text him dozens of times a day asking if he still loved her. She'd panic if he took too long to respond. She'd create drama to test his commitment. The more she grasped, the more distant he became. Why? Because she had transformed from a partner into a prison warden. Her love had become surveillance. Her care had become control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." But when you're desperately holding onto someone, you're never in the present. You're either reliving past moments, trying to figure out where things went wrong, or you're projecting into the future, terrified of potential loss. This mental absence is felt by the other person. While your body is with them, your mind is elsewhere, consumed by fear and control strategies. The Stoics teach us that this controlling behavior stems from a fundamental misunderstanding of how the universe works. Seneca explained, "Every man is in bondage to fear who depends upon chance for his happiness." When you try to control another person's feelings, presence, or behavior, you're attempting to control chance itself. You're trying to force the universe to guarantee your happiness by keeping this person exactly where and how you want them. But here's what actually happens when you operate from this mindset. Your partner mentions they're going out with friends and you immediately feel threatened. You start an argument or guilt trip them into staying home. They comply, but resentment builds. Next time, they might lie about where they're going just to avoid the confrontation. Your fear of losing them has created deception where there was none before. Your grip has created the very distance you feared. This dynamic extends beyond romantic relationships. Think about the overbearing parent who won't let their adult child live their own life. Every controlling action, the constant calls, the guilt trips, the manipulation, pushes the child further away. The parent's desperate need to maintain connection destroys the very relationship they're trying to preserve. As Epictetus noted, if you want your children and your wife and your friends to live forever, you are silly, for you want things to be up to you that are not up to you. The irony is profound. The behaviors we engage in to keep people close, monitoring, controlling, demanding, manipulating, are precisely the behaviors that make people want to leave. It's like trying to keep a bird by crushing it in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the more damage you do until there's nothing left but regret and emptiness. Let me share another example. Marcus, a financial analyst in New York, couldn't understand why his friendships kept failing. He would become intensely attached to new friends, demanding all their free time, getting jealous when they hung out with others, and constantly needing validation of the friendship. One by one, these friends would create distance, stop returning calls, and eventually disappear from his life entirely. Marcus blamed them for being fake friends, never realizing that his suffocating behavior was the common denominator in every failed relationship. The Stoics offer a radically different approach. Instead of grasping, they advocate for what we might call open-handed love. Seneca wrote, "Let us greedily enjoy our friends, because how long this blessing will fall to our lot is uncertain." Notice the word enjoy rather than possess. When you enjoy someone's presence without trying to own it, you create space for genuine connection. You become someone people want to be around, not someone they feel obligated to appease. This doesn't mean being indifferent or careless about relationships. It means recognizing that true connection can only exist in freedom. When both people choose to be present without coercion, manipulation, or desperate need, that's when real intimacy becomes possible. The person who can say, "I love you and I can live without you," offers a gift that the desperate clinger can never give, the gift of chosen presence rather than forced proximity. Marcus Aurelius understood this when he wrote about his own relationships. Love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. Notice he doesn't say clutch them desperately or never let them go. He says love them fully while accepting that fate, not your will, determines how long they remain in your life. Ultimately, the Stoic wisdom reveals that holding on tight doesn't just make you lose people faster, it prevents you from ever truly having them in the first place. When you're operating from fear and control, you're not experiencing the person as they actually are. You're experiencing your own projections, needs, and anxieties. The person becomes a screen for your own internal drama rather than a genuine human connection. In trying to possess them, you lose both them and yourself. 3. The shocking truth. They were never yours to keep. Here's a truth that will fundamentally alter how you view every relationship in your life. That person you're desperately trying to hold on to was never yours in the first place. Not your spouse, not your children, not your best friend. This isn't a metaphor or philosophical wordplay. According to the Stoics, this is the bare reality of existence, and accepting it is the key to ending your suffering over loss. Epictetus delivers this truth with startling directness. Never say of anything, "I have lost it," but "I have returned it." Is your child dead? The child is returned. Is your wife dead? She is returned. I am deprived of my estate. Well, this also is returned. At first, this might sound cold, even heartless, but sit with it for a moment. What if every person in your life is actually on loan to you from the universe? What if thinking you own people is the root cause of your inability to let go? Think about how we speak about relationships. My girlfriend, my children, my best friend. The possessive language reveals our mindset. We genuinely believe these people belong to us in some way, but reality constantly proves otherwise. People leave, they change, they die, they choose different paths. If they were truly ours, would any of this be possible? If you actually own someone, they would always do what you wanted, always stay where you put them, and always remain exactly as you prefer them to be. Let me illustrate this with a modern scenario. David, a successful attorney in Boston, built his entire identity around being a father. "My kids are my life," he'd say proudly. When his ex-wife gained primary custody after their divorce, and his teenagers later chose to spend less time with him, David fell apart. He kept insisting, "They're my children. She's stealing my kids." But were they ever his? Did he create their souls? Does he control their thoughts, feelings, or choices? The universe loaned him the privilege of guiding these souls for a time, but he mistook a temporary guardianship for permanent ownership. Marcus Aurelius, who lost numerous children to illness, understood this deeply. He wrote, "How ridiculous and how strange to be surprised at anything which happens in life. Why is loss surprising if we never owned anything to begin with? The surprise comes from our delusion of ownership, not from the reality of impermanence." When you truly grasp that everyone in your life is a temporary gift rather than a permanent possession, loss transforms from a theft into a natural return. This principle extends beyond death or dramatic departures. Consider how many relationships you've already returned in your life. That best friend from elementary school, you swore you'd know forever. Where are they now? The first person you fell in love with, convinced you'd found your soulmate, what became of them? Those college friends you promised to stay close with, how many do you still talk to regularly? Life has been teaching you this lesson all along. People flow in and out of your life like waves on a beach. You don't own the waves, you experience them. Seneca put it beautifully. Every new thing excites the mind, but a mind that seeks truth turns from the new and superficial to the old and profound. The new and superficial includes our modern delusion that relationships can be possessed, controlled, or made permanent through force of will. The old and profound truth is that everything in this universe is in constant flux, including the people we love. But here's where this truth becomes liberating rather than depressing. When you realize people aren't your possessions, you stop trying to control them. When you stop trying to control them, you can actually see them for who they are. When you see them for who they are, genuine love becomes possible. The possessive love most of us practice is actually a form of blindness. We see what we want to see, what serves our needs, what fits our image of who this person should be in our life. Consider Rachel, a marketing director in Los Angeles, who couldn't let go of her ex-boyfriend 2 years after their breakup. She kept insisting he was the one and that they belonged together. But when a therapist asked her to describe his actual dreams, fears, and deepest values, she couldn't answer. She had been in love with her idea of ownership, not with the actual person. She mourned losing her boyfriend, but she had never truly known him as an independent human being with his own path to walk. Epictetus challenges us further. What is not your own? Anything that is not in your power to use or not to use. Can you force someone to love you? Can you prevent someone from leaving? Can you stop someone from changing, aging, or dying? If not, then in what sense are they yours? The brutal honesty of this question cuts through our romantic fantasies about forever and mine. This doesn't mean relationships are meaningless or that we shouldn't form deep connections. The Stoics had families, friendships, and communities they cherished, but they loved with open hands, understanding that every moment with someone is a gift that could be returned at any time. This awareness didn't diminish their love, it intensified it. When you know something is temporary, you pay attention, you appreciate, you present yourself fully instead of taking it for granted. The Japanese have a concept called mono no aware, the bittersweet awareness of the impermanence of all things. The Stoics would approve. When you watch a sunset, you don't suffer because you can't possess it. You appreciate its beauty precisely because it's fleeting. What if you could view the people in your life the same way? What if instead of trying to own them, you could simply appreciate the miracle of their temporary presence in your journey? This is the shocking truth the Stoics want you to understand. You're not losing people because they were never yours to lose. You're returning gifts that were always meant to be temporary. And when you truly grasp this, something miraculous happens. The desperate clinging stops. The fear of loss diminishes. And in that space of acceptance, real love, the kind that doesn't depend on possession or permanence, finally has room to breathe. 4. Nothing you love will stay forever, and that's okay. Take a moment to look at your hands. According to science, every cell in your body replaces itself over time. The hands you're looking at now are literally not the same hands you had 7 years ago. If your own body isn't permanent, how can anything else be? This biological truth points to a deeper reality that the Stoics understood profoundly. Absolutely nothing you love will stay forever, and paradoxically, that's what makes life beautiful, meaningful, and worth living. Epictetus laid out this reality with unflinching clarity in a dialogue with his students. When you want your body to be whole, is the matter under your control or not? It is not. And when you want it to be well, nor that, either. And to live or to die, nor that, either. Therefore, your body is not your own possession. It is subject to everyone who is stronger than you are. Granted. And your farm, is it under your control to have it when you want, and as long as you want? And in the condition that you want? No. And your paltry slaves? No. And your clothes? No. And your paltry house? No. And your horses? None of these things. And if you wish by all means your children to live, or your wife, or your brother, or your friends, is the matter under your control? No, nor that either. This dialogue isn't meant to depress you. It's meant to wake you up to reality. Everything you love, your health, your home, your family, your achievements, your relationships, exists under the jurisdiction of what the Stoics called the revolution of the universe. You're not the emperor of reality, you're a participant in a cosmic dance where everything constantly changes, transforms, and eventually passes away. Consider Michael, a tech entrepreneur in Seattle who built his entire identity around his company. For 10 years, it was his baby, his legacy, his proof of worth. When market changes forced him to sell at a loss, he fell into deep depression. "I lost everything," he kept saying. But what did he really lose? A temporary arrangement of circumstances that he mistakenly believed would last forever. His suffering came not from the loss itself, but from his delusion that anything in this world could be permanent. Marcus Aurelius, writing in his personal journal while governing the Roman Empire at its height, reminded himself constantly of this truth. How quickly all things pass away in the world, the bodies themselves in space, and the memory of them in time. Here was the most powerful man in the known world, and he understood that his empire, his legacy, even the memory of his existence would eventually vanish like morning mist. But here's where the Stoic philosophy becomes profound rather than nihilistic. When you truly accept that nothing lasts forever, every moment becomes precious. Think about it. Would you treasure a sunset if the sun stayed frozen in that position forever? Would you savor a meal if it never ended? Would a hug from someone you love mean anything if you were permanently fused together? The temporary nature of everything is what gives life its poignancy and power. Seneca understood this when he wrote, "Let us greedily enjoy our friends, because how long this blessing will fall to our lot is uncertain." Notice he doesn't say desperately cling to our friends or live in constant fear of losing them. He says greedily enjoy, be present, be grateful, be fully alive to the gift of this moment, precisely because it won't last. This perspective transforms how you experience everything you love. Your morning coffee becomes a ritual of appreciation rather than a mindless habit. Time with your children becomes sacred rather than something to endure until bedtime. A conversation with a friend becomes an irreplaceable moment rather than just another social obligation. When you know nothing lasts forever, you stop taking things for granted and start truly living. Let me share a story that illustrates this beautifully. Sarah, a nurse in Chicago, used to live in constant anxiety about her aging parents. She'd lie awake, terrified of losing them, unable to enjoy their presence because she was so focused on their eventual absence. After studying Stoic philosophy, she shifted her perspective. Instead of dreading their mortality, she began treasuring every visit, every phone call, every shared meal. When her father eventually passed, she grieved, but without the added layer of regret that comes from having wasted precious time in fear. The Stoics called this acceptance of impermanence the discipline of desire. It means aligning your desires with the nature of reality rather than fighting against it. In the Star Wars saga, Anakin Skywalker's inability to accept that nothing lasts forever led him to the dark side. When Padme told him, "You can't stop the change any more than you can stop the suns from setting," he responded with rage and determination to gain enough power to control life and death itself. His refusal to accept impermanence destroyed everything he was trying to save. But you have a choice Anakin didn't make. You can accept that your parents will die, your children will grow up and leave, your body will age, your career will end, your friendships will evolve, and yes, you yourself will one day return to the earth. This isn't morbid, it's liberating. When you stop fighting reality, you free up enormous energy to actually live. Marcus Aurelius captured this perfectly. It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live. How much of your life have you wasted fearing loss instead of embracing presence? How many beautiful moments have you missed because you were busy trying to make temporary things permanent? How much joy have you sacrificed on the altar of impossible control? The truth is that impermanence is not your enemy, it's your teacher. It teaches you to pay attention. It teaches you to prioritize. It teaches you that love is not about possession but about appreciation. It teaches you that the only appropriate response to temporary gifts is gratitude, not grasping. When you finally accept that nothing you love will stay forever, you paradoxically become capable of loving more deeply than ever before, because your love is no longer contaminated by the desperate need to stop time. This is what the Stoics mean when they say impermanence is okay. It's not just okay, it's the very condition that makes life precious, love meaningful, and existence itself a gift worthy of our full participation. 5. How your need for people is actually destroying you. Society tells us that needing people is natural, healthy, even beautiful. We celebrate songs about not being able to live without someone. We romanticize the idea of finding our other half, as if we're incomplete beings wandering the earth. But the ancient Stoics saw this neediness for what it really is, a form of self-destruction that masquerades as love. Your need for people isn't connecting you to them, it's destroying you from the inside out. The Stoics identified for primary passions that torment the human soul: pleasure, appetite, distress, and fear. When you need someone, you experience all four in a vicious cycle. When they're present, you feel pleasure. When they're absent, you experience appetite, that gnawing hunger for their presence. You live in constant fear of losing them. And when anything threatens the relationship, you experience profound distress. You've essentially turned another human being into an emotional drug, and like any addiction, it's slowly killing your spirit. Epictetus explained this dynamic with brutal clarity. When I see a man in anxiety, I say to myself, what does this man want? If he did not want what is not in his power, how could he be anxious? Think about your own anxiety regarding the people you need. Every sleepless night wondering if they still care. Every panic attack happens when they don't respond to your text quickly enough. Every moment of desperation when they seem distant. This anxiety is your soul screaming that you're violating a fundamental law of nature, trying to control what cannot be controlled. Let me paint a picture of how this destruction manifests. Jessica, a graphic designer in Miami, believed she needed her boyfriend to be happy. When he was attentive, she felt alive. When he was busy with work, she spiraled into depression. She stopped seeing friends because she needed to be available whenever he had time. She quit hobbies that didn't include him. She turned down a promotion that would require travel because she needed to be near him. Slowly, she erased herself, becoming a shadow whose existence depended entirely on another person's presence and mood. Marcus Aurelius warned against this self-erasure. How much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does, but only to what he does himself. When you need people, you're constantly looking outward, monitoring their every move, analyzing their every word, trying to decode their feelings. You become a detective in your own life, so busy investigating others that you abandon the one person you're actually responsible for, yourself. The physical toll of this neediness is real. Studies show that anxious attachment, the scientific term for needing people, correlates with higher cortisol levels, disrupted sleep, weakened immune function, and increased risk of anxiety and depression. Your need for people isn't just emotionally destructive. It's literally breaking down your body. The Stoics didn't have modern science, but they observed these effects 2,000 years ago. Seneca wrote extensively about how passion, including the passionate need for others, clouds judgment and leads to poor decisions. Every man is in bondage to fear who depends upon chance for his happiness. When you need someone, Every decision you make is colored by that need. Should you take that job across the country? Not if it means leaving them. Should you speak up about something that bothers you? Not if it might upset them. Should you pursue your dreams? Not if they don't align with keeping this person close. This is how need becomes a prison. You think you need them to be happy, but the need itself ensures you'll never be happy. You're always one argument, one misunderstanding, one change of heart away from devastation. You live on an emotional roller coaster that you can't exit because you've handed the controls to another person. Consider Robert, a financial analyst in New York, who needed his friend group's approval for every decision. Where to live, what to wear, whom to date, everything required their validation. When the group gradually dispersed as people moved for jobs and relationships, Robert fell apart. He had outsourced his identity so completely that without them, he didn't know who he was. His need for people had prevented him from ever developing a self. The Stoics teach that this destruction happens because we've confused preference with need. Epictetus made this distinction clear. Preferring someone's company is natural and healthy. Needing it is a form of mental illness. When you prefer something, you can enjoy it when it's present and remain stable when it's absent. When you need something, its absence causes suffering and its presence causes anxiety about future absence. This need also corrupts the very relationships you're trying to preserve. When you need someone, you can't love them properly because you're too busy using them. They become a means to your emotional regulation rather than a person worthy of respect and genuine care. Your love becomes extraction. You're constantly pulling from them what you believe you need to survive. Is it any wonder that people feel drained, suffocated, and eager to escape from someone who needs them? The passionate need for others also blinds you to reality. When you need someone, you'll ignore red flags, tolerate disrespect, and rationalize harmful behavior. You'll stay in relationships that damage you because the thought of being without this person feels worse than being destroyed by them. This isn't love or connection, it's voluntary slavery. Marcus Aurelius understood that true strength comes from self-sufficiency. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. This doesn't mean isolation or indifference to others. It means building a solid foundation within yourself so that you can enjoy people without needing them, love without desperation, and connect without losing yourself. The irony is profound. The very need you think connects you to people is what prevents genuine connection. When you need someone, you can't see them clearly. You see your projection, your desperation, your fear. You interact with your need, not with the actual person. And in trying to fill the void within yourself with another person, you ensure that the void only grows larger, hungrier, and more destructive. This is how your need for people is destroying you, not dramatically, but slowly, choice by choice, day by day, until you wake up one morning and realize you've traded your soul for the illusion of security that another person can never actually provide. 6. The 2,000-year-old method to finally let go. After everything we've explored, the pain of attachment, the illusion of ownership, the destruction of need, you're probably wondering, okay, but how do I actually let go? The Stoics didn't just diagnose the problem, they developed a practical method that has helped people release their desperate grip on others for over 2 millennia. This isn't theory or wishful thinking. It's a systematic approach that you can start using today. Epictetus, the former slave who became one of history's greatest philosophers, laid out the method with remarkable clarity. This is what you ought to practice from morning till evening. Begin with the most trifling things, the ones most exposed to injury, like a pot or a cup, and then advance to a tunic, a paltry dog, a mere horse, a bit of land, thence to yourself, your body, and its members, your children, wife, brothers. Look about on every side and cast these things away from you. Purify your judgments, for fear lest something of what is not your own may be fastened to them, or grown together with them, and may give you pain when it is torn loose. This might sound strange at first. Start with a cup? But there's profound wisdom in this progression. You don't start by trying to let go of your deepest attachments. That's like trying to deadlift 500 pounds on your first day at the gym. You start small, building your emotional strength gradually. Here's how to apply this ancient method in modern life. Tomorrow morning, when you're having coffee, really look at your favorite mug. Acknowledge that it's temporary. One day it will break. Practice being okay with that. Say to yourself, I'm enjoying this mug now, but it's not mine to keep forever. Feel any resistance that comes up. Notice how even with a simple object, there's a part of you that wants to hold on to make permanent what is inherently temporary. Once you're comfortable with objects, move to experiences. That perfect sunny day? It will end. That delicious meal? It will be digested and gone. That great workout feeling? It will fade. Practice experiencing these things fully while acknowledging their impermanence. As Marcus Aurelius advised, confine yourself to the present, but add the Stoic wisdom, enjoy the present while accepting it's already in the process of passing. Next, apply this to casual relationships. That barista who makes your day with their smile? They might quit tomorrow. That colleague you enjoy chatting with? They could get transferred. Practice appreciating these lighter connections while holding them loosely. Notice how you can actually enjoy them more when you're not desperately trying to secure them. Here's where it gets challenging but transformative. Begin applying this method to closer relationships. When you're with a good friend, practice this thought, I'm grateful for this moment with them. I don't know how many more we'll have. This isn't morbid, it's realistic. And paradoxically, it makes you more present, more grateful, more genuinely connected. Let me share how this worked for David, an architect in Portland. His teenage daughter was pulling away, typical for her age, but David was panicking, trying to force a connection through guilt and control. He started practicing the Stoic method. Each interaction, he reminded himself, she's not mine to keep. She's her own person on her own journey. Slowly, he stopped grasping. And something beautiful happened. When he gave her space, she started choosing to spend time with him again. By letting go of his need to possess her presence, he created room for a genuine relationship. Seneca added another crucial element to this practice, negative visualization or premeditatio malorum. This means occasionally imagining loss before it happens. Not to torture yourself, but to prepare your mind and appreciate what you still have. Seneca wrote, "What is quite unlooked for is more crushing in its effect, and unexpectedness adds to the weight of a disaster." This is a reason for ensuring that nothing ever takes us by surprise. Try this. Spend 5 minutes imagining your life without someone you're attached to. Not to manifest their departure, but to recognize that you would survive. You would adapt. Life would continue. This isn't pessimism, it's building resilience. When you realize you can handle loss, the fear of it loses its power over you. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of morning and evening reflection. Marcus Aurelius began each day reminding himself of impermanence. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly, but I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own. Create your own morning practice. Upon waking, remind yourself, everyone I encountered today is temporary in my life. I will enjoy their presence without grasping, love them without possessing, and remain at peace whether they stay or go. This sets your mental framework for the entire day. Evening practice is equally important. Before bed, review your attachments from the day. Where did you grasp too tightly? When did you suffer because you wanted to control someone? Without self-judgment, simply notice these moments and resolve to practice better tomorrow. As Epictetus taught, this is like athletic training. You're building the muscles of non-attachment. But here's the crucial point many miss. This practice isn't about becoming cold or indifferent. When Anakin told Padme, "I cannot be rational," he was expressing what many feel, that letting go means not caring. But the Stoics taught the opposite. When you release desperate attachment, you create space for genuine love. Love that isn't contaminated by fear, need, or the desire to control. The method works because it aligns you with reality rather than fighting it. Every time you practice accepting impermanence, you're training your mind to work with the universe rather than against it. Every small act of letting go builds your capacity for the bigger releases life will inevitably require. This 2,000-year-old method isn't just philosophy, it's practical psychology that modern research validates. Studies on acceptance and commitment therapy echo these ancient practices. The Stoics discovered through observation what neuroscience now confirms. You can literally rewire your brain's attachment patterns through consistent practice. Start today. Choose one small thing to practice releasing. Tomorrow, another. Build slowly but consistently. As Epictetus promised, this practice will purify your judgments until the desperate need to possess people transforms into the ability to love them freely. This is the path from emotional slavery to genuine connection, from desperate grasping to peaceful appreciation, from the illusion of ownership to the reality of love. 7. When you can't stop crying over them. This helps. Right now, you might be thinking, this Stoic philosophy sounds great in theory, but I literally can't stop crying. The pain is unbearable. How can these ancient ideas help when I'm drowning in grief? This is where we need to get real about the difference between Stoic ideals and human reality. Even the Stoics themselves understood that not everyone can achieve perfect emotional detachment, and they offered practical guidance for those of us who are devastated by loss. Let's start with something the Stoics called proto-emotions. Those immediate, involuntary reactions that hit you before rational thought kicks in. When you hear that someone you love has died, or when you see your ex with someone new, your eyes might fill with tears instantly. Your chest might tighten. You might feel physically sick. The Stoics didn't condemn these automatic responses. They recognized them as natural human reactions that even the wisest philosopher experiences. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor himself, wept when his beloved tutor died. Seneca's eyes filled with tears at various losses throughout his life. The difference between a Stoic and someone consumed by grief isn't the absence of initial pain. It's what happens next. Do you feed the grief until it consumes your life? Or do you acknowledge it while maintaining some degree of rational perspective? Seneca offers us perhaps the most compassionate and practical Stoic advice on dealing with overwhelming grief. In 41 AD, he was exiled to Corsica on likely false charges of adultery. From this place of isolation and loss, he wrote to his mother Helvia, who was devastated by his exile. His words offer a middle path between Stoic idealism and human reality. They did not forbid them to mourn, but they set limits to their grief. Seneca wrote about Roman customs. For while it is a foolish weakness to give way to endless grief when you lose one of those dearest to you, yet it shows an unnatural hardness of heart to express no grief at all. The best middle course between affection and hard common sense is both to feel regret and to restrain it. This is revolutionary. Seneca isn't saying don't grieve. He's saying grieve, but with boundaries. In Roman times, the custom was 10 months of mourning for widows. Not 10 years. Not forever. 10 months. This wasn't arbitrary. It recognized that grief needs expression while also understanding that endless mourning becomes self-destruction. So, how do you apply this when you can't stop crying? First, give yourself permission to grieve. Set aside specific times for it. Say to yourself, for the next hour, I will fully feel this loss. Cry, right? Listen to the songs that remind you of them. But when that hour ends, engage with life. This isn't suppression, it's containment. You're giving grief its due without letting it colonize your entire existence. Consider Emma, a teacher in Denver, who lost her best friend in a car accident. For months, she couldn't function. Every moment was consumed by grief. Then she discovered Seneca's approach. She designated her morning shower as her grief time, 15 minutes to cry, remember, and mourn. The rest of the day, when grief arose, she'd tell herself, I'll honor this tomorrow morning. Slowly, she reclaimed her life while still honoring her loss. But what about those moments when grief ambushes you? When you're fine 1 minute and sobbing the next because you saw their favorite food at the grocery store. The Stoics teach us to examine the thoughts behind the tears. Are you crying because you miss them, natural? Or because you're telling yourself stories like, I'll never be happy again, or my life is over without them, irrational additions to grief? Epictetus would have us question these thoughts. When you are grieving, examine what opinion you hold. Is it that the person who died has suffered something terrible, but they have simply returned to the state they were in before birth? Is that terrible? Is it that you will never see them again? But did you expect to live forever in unchanged circumstances? This isn't about invalidating your pain. It's about not adding unnecessary suffering to natural grief. There's a difference between I'm sad because I miss them and I'm destroyed because I can't live without them. The first is a proto-emotion that will naturally fade with time. The second is a passion based on the irrational belief that you need someone external to survive. Here's a practical exercise based on Stoic principles. When you can't stop crying, ask yourself, what specifically am I grieving? Often, we're not just grieving the person, we're grieving our imagined future with them, our identity as their partner/friend/child, our routine that included them. Separate these losses. Grieve each one individually rather than letting them merge into an overwhelming mass of pain. Marcus Aurelius offers another powerful tool, a cosmic perspective. Remember that very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. When you're drowning in grief, zoom out. Think about the billions of people who have lost loved ones throughout history. You're not alone in this experience. You're part of the human condition. This doesn't minimize your pain, but it connects you to the larger human story of loss and resilience. Seneca's most practical advice to his grieving mother was this: "This will heal your wounds and take away all your sadness." And what was his prescription? Philosophy, study, learning, growth, not as a distraction, but as a transformation. When you engage your mind in understanding the nature of reality, loss, and impermanence, you're not running from grief. you're metabolizing it into wisdom. If you're reading this through tears, know that even attempting to understand these ideas shows incredible strength. You're not required to achieve Stoic sage-level detachment. You're allowed to be human, but you're also capable of more resilience than you realize. Every moment you choose to engage with life despite your pain, you're practicing Stoicism. Every time you question whether your thoughts about loss are making it worse, you're applying ancient wisdom. The Stoics understood that grief, like everything else, is impermanent. The tears you can't stop today will slow tomorrow and eventually stop altogether. Not because you'll forget or stop caring, but because that's the nature of all emotions. They arise, peak, and pass. Your job isn't to rush this process or pretend you're stronger than you are. Your job is to grieve consciously, with boundaries, without adding stories that turn natural sadness into permanent suffering. This is how you honor both your humanity and your capacity for wisdom. We've taken a profound journey together through ancient wisdom that speaks directly to your modern pain. From understanding why you can't let go, to discovering that people were never yours to keep, to learning practical methods for releasing your desperate grip on others, you now stand at a crossroads that every human being must eventually face. On one path lies the way you've always done things, clinging desperately to people, living in constant fear of loss, letting your happiness depend on forces outside your control. You know where this path leads because you've walked it. It leads to sleepless nights, anxiety attacks, and the peculiar agony of trying to stop water with your bare hands. It leads to pushing away the very people you're trying to keep close. It leads to a life half-lived, always bracing for the next loss instead of embracing the present moment. On the other path lies the Stoic way, loving people deeply while holding them lightly, enjoying presence without demanding permanence, finding peace in the truth that everything is borrowed and nothing is forever. This path isn't about becoming emotionless or indifferent. It's about discovering a love that doesn't depend on possession, a joy that doesn't require guarantees, and a peace that can't be shattered by life's inevitable changes. The choice between these paths isn't made once, it's made moment by moment, day by day. Every time someone doesn't text back immediately, you choose. Every time a relationship changes, you choose. Every time fear whispers that you're going to lose someone, you choose. Will you feed the fear or starve it? Will you grasp tighter or practice letting go? Remember what Marcus Aurelius wrote in the loneliest hours of the night: very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. The people you're terrified of losing, the ones you can't let go of, they were always meant to be temporary gifts, not permanent possessions. When you finally accept this, really accept it in your bones, something miraculous happens. The fear loses its grip. The desperate need transforms into grateful appreciation. And love, real love, not the needy counterfeit most of us settle for, finally has room to breathe. You don't have to master this overnight. Even the ancient Stoics spent lifetimes practicing these principles. Start with one small step. Choose one relationship where you'll practice loving without grasping. Choose one fear of loss you'll face with Stoic wisdom. Choose one moment today where you'll appreciate someone's presence without demanding their permanence. This ancient wisdom has survived over 2,000 years because it works. It has helped countless humans find peace with loss, freedom in relationships, and joy in impermanence. Now it's your turn to join this lineage of wisdom. If this video has opened your eyes to a new way of seeing relationships and loss, I encourage you to subscribe to Stoic Vivu for more practical philosophy that can transform your daily life. Hit that like button if these insights resonated with you. It helps others discover this life-changing wisdom. And please share this video with someone you know who's struggling to let go. Sometimes the right words at the right time can change everything. Remember, You don't lose people. You return them. And in that return lies your freedom.